Well, bloody well. The Little Adventures of Pigeon Pea. I thought these were going to be decent sized thing. They're the Dal of India. You know, I had read somewhere along that they were like chickpeas, but I hadn't seen any photos at that point. You know, and then I heard, well, they're decent sized thing, and I'm, looking at people who have got green ones and whatnot. Only after I bought the seeds, because originally I thought, well, there's some sort of a lentil type thing, but they're the size of a decent bean, like a red kidney bean or lima bean or something like that. And no, they actually look very similar to and about the size of an adzuki bean, common little bean in Japan and China. Uh, oh, the fucking bullshit with these things. I had previous year I tried to get some. They're called crystal apple. It's a kind of cucumber that's like a round white one that's about the size of an apple. And I tried to get all that to happen, and I got knocked out by pre-emergence fungus. It's either cheap potting mix or old potting mix that I had used that had fungi in it. A lot of them did actually come up, but a lot of seeds got attacked, and ultimately the seedlings were attacked by mould, and it killed like 16 of the bastards, and I just gave up. Long and short of it, I sort of had forgotten about all of that, and I had new potting mix still in the bag that I bought, and yeah, it's been sitting there for maybe 6 months or more, 9 months or whatever, and I thought, yeah, she's good. So I went and tried to plant a bunch of these, and only to find that some of them are going rotten. And occasionally I'd see a bit of mould. So I thought, shit, this ain't working out too well. You've got to get them out of potting mix. I thought sand, and I thought, nah, stuff that. We're going to use paper towel. So I used paper towel, and I set it in the old car that I have out there that I've got plants in. The old white wagon near the front gate there. And, well, lo and behold, what happened? Some little bastard got in and ate half the seeds. So I thought, well, bugger it, we've got a thermal mass heater. What I'll do, I'll have them in front of that, because that stays like anything from, 22 to 28 degrees Celsius, and you can pretty much say, well, I can guarantee like 23 degrees Celsius, like 75 Fahrenheit, all the time, like all the damn time with this thing. And I just got to put it, near my bed there, and it'll be all good. And, I did that. And surprise, surprise, yeah, it was bloody brilliant. I had stuff germinate, literally like 24 hours stuff was germinating. I was stunned. I thought, fantastic. So I thought, I had to go to church, and I thought, well, I'm going to keep this with me. So I'll put it in the car, and I took a Mr. bottle with me, and I made sure. Yeah, and those three went fine. One of them had a little bit of mould coming up, so I cleaned them, even though little sprouts, with a, like a half vinegar, half water mix. And I sort of come to realise that in these ones that I germinated on the paper towel, it wasn't so much that it was a fungi issue and the seeds were going mouldy, that it was actually a shit germination. And these bastards were getting about 30%, 25% germination rate. I mean, they're really fucking shit germination rate. And I really question if Mr. Blah Blah Farms here is actually bloody farming them. I've got a funny feeling he's going to the store, because we've got plenty of Indian grocery stores here. And just like you can buy dried beans to make Italian, you got Italian soup mix, you got split yellow peas, you got this, you got that. You go to Chinese shops, you got fucking adzuki beans and like dried out soybeans, mung beans. And I think this guy's just gone into an Indian store and picked up a bag of pigeon pea. Cut a bunch of these bags open and just rebagged them up into little dime bags here, and just started printing stickers out and whacking on the front. I've seen people getting brown rice on bloody YouTube and getting that to germinate out of packets. And the germination rate's fairly crap, but it does germinate. You know, it's like a good 40, 50%. And this shit's getting 30%. What's the chances this is just bags of beans that are opened up and then sold for like $4 and you're getting like a fucking 20 cents of beans? Fucking smart asses. I'm almost certain that's what this guy's done. You know, and they might claim otherwise, but 30% germination, I mean, I've been in the commercial vegetable industry. As an employee, I personally knew seed developers developing new kinds of lettuce, which we would see in stores 3 years later, right? And some of the top minds in the country on terms of fucking growing things, who knew all the germination tricks, all the bugs, all the fungal issues of fucking everything inside out and back to front. And I would read on tins what the germination rate was, and I would see germination tests taking place on occasion where we would literally go and have something sown and then they go and dig up every fucking thing back out of the tray again and count them all and tally them all up with a fucking calculator. I've seen this shit happen, and it shouldn't be 30%. It's pretty fucking rough if it's 88%, but this is 30%. It's fucking terrible. Anyway, after I had some rot because of this bad germination rate and I had some eaten in the car, I then germinated them next to the thermal mass heater and I thought, this is good. This is going to work out right. And so I had 3 come up out of about 10 or something like that. And so I planted them, but I thought we can't make the same mistake with this potting mix. So I put the potting mix in the bottom, and then the top half was sand. And then I had buried this seed like about a ½ inch or 3/8 of an inch below the surface in the sand, the 3 that germinated. And I set them out in the car to keep nice and warm because they need the sun now they're about to put up sprout. And what happened? Little bloody mouse come along and somehow amongst all the potting mix and the sand, he could smell the damn thing that's already germinated, and he dug up and ate 2 of the 3. I shit you not. You already got the taste of them the first time around there when they're on paper towel out there. So I've got 2 that are actually up with their proper true leaves. And then I've got one which is sprouted that's been saved. And I've got another one that's just sprouted and put roots out. And here we are like 2 weeks later and it still hasn't shot yet. It's trying to get a leaf up to the top, but it still hasn't actually risen up to the top. It's just putting roots down. So I don't know if that one's going to survive. So there's one that's taken forever to actually come up through the soil, and one that's only just germinated, and 2 that are actually made it to full plants. And this is out of like about fucking 20 seeds or more. I mean, it's like 25 seeds or more, and this is what's happened. I had another one that germinated and went all right in the pot, and then one day I come out and, you know, I sort of noticed a bit of a disturbance on top of it, and I thought, well, check if it's actually germinating, like if it's growing any bigger, if it's starting to put. So I'm slowly flicking back the potting mix with a zip tie, and there's nothing, there's no seed in there. And I kept going, and I went round, and then I started tipping it out. No, nothing. Seed was gone. So he's bloody got that one, and I just thought, oh, maybe it was me. I just couldn't find the seed because I'm sure there was a seed in here, and I just shrugged it off as, oh well, you fucked up or something. You know, you just lost it here somewhere on your own. You know, but I reckon a bit of a disturbance at the top, and I reckon a little sod had eaten that one too. But there wasn't like a real definite digging like there was with these ones in the sand. But you can't really see with potting mix because it all just, you know, it's sort of all flaky stuff and it's not as obvious. I think I had it fairly close to the surface too, maybe only 1/8 of an inch to the surface, so the sod got it that way. But I tell you what, the circus in trying to get these stupid bloody pigeon pea to grow, and on top of that, they won't grow in a area that has like your, what's his name, frost and that. They can't handle frost. So I'm going to have to work out how to get these inside. Unfortunately, I bought a grow light. It's USB powered, and it's like got a built-in timer and everything. But it's not like a grow like a fluorescent T5 purple light or nothing like that. It's like a maintenance one that people use over winter just to stop everything from, to keep cacti and little plants just on a sort of maintenance level. It's not really grow, and that's why it's so power efficient, because it doesn't really actually grow. It just gives you a copycat of weak enough sunlight to keep the plant, not dying, basically, with enough photosynthesis that it just doesn't shut down entirely. But yeah, that's like 10 watts of power, and I can do that without a problem and have it next to the thermal mass heater. But I might need more than just the one. I might have to buy a second one if I ever get these. These end up growing bigger, but that'll be a problem for 2 years away, not at the moment. The thing is with these, when you grow them in the spring, they take more than a year to give you its first fruit, or they take about a year to get your first pods. So if you go and plant it in the spring, by the end of summer, as autumn's kicking in and it's getting cold, you still will not see pods. But if you plant it now, you keep it in warmth and with light over winter, as we're creeping into autumn quite heavily now, then what ends up happening is you will, in the first summer, actually get some pods versus planting them in the spring, because you've given it the jump by about 4 or 5 months. You'll actually see some pods at the end of summer in your first year. These things are meant to grow for 5 years. I've heard 7, but I think realistically it's actually about 5. And they won't even last the bloody first year if you get frost. So they're going to be in the bedroom with me and the cat and the grow light, it looks like it. So anyway, this is high hopes for something that's probably not suitable for this region, for a mouse of the friggin' that hasn't been caught by the cat yet, and has a real taste for certain kinds of seeds, as I've found out when I'm drying seeds, and no taste for other seeds, and even willing to eat ones that are germinated. So anyway, that's a little story of the drama of the pigeon peas.